Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana, Yamuna Tiravanachari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana, Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, लक्ष्मी नृसिंह देव भगवान की, श्री प्रभुपाद की, समवेत भक्त वृंद की, कलियुग पावन हरि नाम संकीर्तन की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु बद्धेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ज्ञानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमो। I first of all offer my obeisances at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, who is glorified by all the Vedas, Puranas, Shrutis, Smritis, Vedanta, everybody, and who is adored by the hosts of the demigods like Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, Agni, all of them. And one who is also constantly meditated upon in their hearts by the yogis. To such a Lord Krishna, I offer my humble obeisances, that is lotus feet. And one who cannot be understood even by the greatest of the demigods by any amount of speculation, but he is only understandable to his pure devotees. So, I first of all offer my humble obeisances at the lotus feet of this Harivilas Swami Maharaj, Harivilas Maharaj. I had met him many years ago, probably 10-12 years ago when I came to US here. I was deeply inspired by his vision of cultural presentation rather than a religious presentation article. And I could personally speak to him after last time. He gave me some magazines called VedicCulturalCenter.org. There were some magazines he gave me. And when I went back to Pune, that is how in Pune, I added one new to the VCC.
Leave.
Made it NVCC after that. So the devotees asked me, what is your vision for Pune? So I had written 3 statements and we gave them in NVCC there after seeing this VCC here in Seattle.
Leave.
I'm very thankful to him because we are using his ideas there also by bringing about a lot of cultural activities in the temple and attracting thousands of people to the temple. So I'm very happy to be here at the lotus feet of Shri Shri Radha Madhav and Neela Madhav. His Grace Project Krupa Prabhu and other devotees here have organized some programs. Actually, I was thinking that I will not come to US at all. I will just preach in India. India, I am going to some 12 places, 12 to 14 places in India. There is enough homework to do in India itself. I thought if I can just send the students to America who are going for MS or for jobs. But as my spiritual master used to say, man proposes, Lord Chaitanya disposes. So recently I was sent to GBC College for a training program, after which they chose some 5 people for global duty officership. One is there Vaishishta Prabhu in San Jose for global Prabhupada book distribution. Similarly, they have given me an assignment of youth outreach in the West. So I have to come here to West every year, 2 months I have to come. So I come in. I will come during September and March. So three weeks I am planning to stay in Boston, where we are starting preaching very seriously there. And 1 week I am planning to go on a tour to different places of America. So in that context I came here, and it is a great joy to see so many bright faces here assembled. And this happens to be the Kartik month also. So it's very auspicious in the Kartik month to even put your feet in the temple of Krishna. In Krishna's temple, if somebody puts feet in Kartik month, you cannot understand how much immense punya one gets. If you read the book by His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj, there's a book called Damodar. If you read that book, backside you will see many pastimes from Padma Purana and other Puranas are explained. How once Vishwamitra Muni with a group of some 40-50 disciples went to one place close to a forest. He sat under a tree and he was speaking, Krishna Katha he was speaking. Suddenly a rat came out of the hole and immediately the rat turned into a human being after hearing the Katha. Why? Because it was spoken in the Kartik month. So the rat was delivered from his animal body. He got a human body and that he got the body of a devotee. Later on that boy told Vishwamitra that actually my father used to very much pressurize me to become a devotee. But once I shouted against my father, so I became a rat in the next life. So now again by hearing Krishna Katha I became a human being again. So similarly there is a pastime of glory of Tulasi. Even in, this is also Padma Purana pastime. How the 2 Brahmanas were going in the forest and one of the Brahmins saw the Tulasi plant growing in profuse quantity in one place. Immediately he bowed down and he watered Tulasi, circumambulated Tulasi. Other fellow asked, hey, why are you bowing down to your plant? What earthly gain do you get by bowing down to your plant? So that Brahmana, Sudharma, he told his friend, you don't know? You have not heard the glories of Tulasi. Come, let us sit under this tree. A very big Vatavriksha, banyan tree. They both sat under that. And then he told them, long ago, when Lord Vishnu arranged for a truce between demigods and demons, they did the Samudra Manthan. From that, at the end of the Samudra Manthan, Lord Dhanvantari brought the Amrita Kalash in his hand. And Dhanvantari looked at the demons and demigods and he smiled in great joy. And he had tears of accomplishment coming in his eyes. See, there are 2 types of tears. One tear is hot tear when you feel when you are angry with somebody. Another tear is cold tears which comes when you accomplish a project. So he was very joyful. So those tears, when it fell in the Amrit Kalash, from that came Tulasi. Because Tulasi is Vishnu Toshini. One who appears in a place where there is satisfaction of Vishnu present. So when this Sudharma was telling, suddenly the tree, the big banyan tree, it broke it got uprooted with a loud, big sound, it fell off. Then both the Brahmanas jumped off and went, to the middle of the road, and they were shocked. They took care that the tree won't fall on them. But out of the tree came a demigod, effulgent. So the demigod folded the palms and thanked these Brahmanas. Brahmanas asked, "Who are you?" He said, many hundreds of years ago, I was actually demigod in the heaven. But in the heaven, I took a bunch of flowers and I wanted to give it to one Apsara. But Apsara was going away from me. So I threw the flower at her bunch. So she turned her face away like this. So the flower from there fell down in the lap of one Agastya Muni, who was sitting in a yogic tapasya. Oh, and then he saw, like that came and fell. Immediately looked at, "Hey, who is that? Who is throwing this flower bunch on me?" So he then looked at the Apsara. And Apsara said, "Swami, please wait. I didn't throw it, that fellow threw it." Then he looked at that fellow. "Oh, okay. So you will not get the curse, he will get the curse." So then he gave him a curse that you become a Brahma Rakshas in a banyan tree. Go to the Bhuloka. So immediately that fellow got down from the mountain steps and then came and fell at the feet of Agastya and caught hold of his feet and begged, "Please forgive me. Give me vimochan from this." And he said that in the Kartik Mass, if you are hearing the glory of Tulasi from anybody who speaks it and you should hear it, then you will be liberated. He said. And during this time only these two Brahmanas spoke the glory of Tulasi. So the tree got uprooted and fell off. And then out came this effulgent demigod and he said, "Now you guys have liberated me, thank you very much. Now I am going back to my abode." So he was going back to his heavenly abode. So when you are all speaking Krishna Katha in this month, you don't know how many rats, how many trees are getting delivered, you may not know. This month is a very auspicious month. So millions of lives of sinful reactions we have accumulated knowingly and unknowingly. They will all be washed away if in the Kartik month the people come to the temple, offer the land to Lord Radha Damodar, and they bow down to the deities. They offer a song or a prayer or chanting. This month is a very, very auspicious month. Many people go to Vrindavan for Kartik Mas Vrata to perform yatra and everything. So it is a great good fortune for me to get a chance to glorify the Lord during this month. Actually, Krishna Katha is rare even in heaven. In the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a verse the demigods speak the glory of Bharatvarsha. They are saying, "Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga Na Sadavo Bhagavata Stadashraya Nayatra Yagnesha Makha Mahotsava Surendra Lokopi Navaisa Sevyatam Kim Dushkarair Nakkatu Vistapo Vratair Dhanadi Virvadyujayena Falguna Nayatra Narayana Pada Pankaja Smriti Pramushta Atishayendriyotsavat. They are saying, "O Lord, where there is no Nayatra Narayana," they are saying, "Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga," where there is no honey of Krishna Katha flowing, Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga, Na Sadhava Bhagavata Sadashaya, and where there are no bhaktas sitting and savoring that honey of Krishna Katha, where there are no yajnas performed, where there are no utsavams celebrated, they say that even if it is Surendra Loka, Indra Loka, we don't want to remain there. They are saying, we hate that place where these things are not happening. And then they are saying, next verse, although we performed Yajnadana Tapa and everything, we came to heaven, but in heaven we are finding Nayatra Narayana Pada Pankaja. We are not able to remember the lotus feet of Narayana. And the reason is what? They are saying Smriti Pramushta. We have become forgetful of Narayana. They are saying. Why? Why you became forgetful? Adishaya Indriya Utsavat. They are saying. We have excessively enjoyed sense gratification and we have become very dull. And because of which we have forgotten the lotus feet of Lord Narayana. So we don't want to remain in heaven anymore. They are saying, we want to go down to earth. We want to go to Seattle, where Radha and Nilamadu is so nicely worshipped by so many devotees. We want to go and take part in the Utsavams celebrated in such a place where the earthly beings, so they are saying that we want to take birth in the Bharatavarsha. Prabhupada says Bharatavarsha is the whole earth, on Prabhupada says. And then now, although it was there in the whole earth before, it will shrinks and shrinks and shrinks, and only in the land called India now, the culture is very, very powerful. But by personalities like Srila Prabhupada, the Vedic culture, the spiritual culture has come to the West. Prabhupada has converted a part of the West into spiritual world, as one devotee wrote an article. So all of you, you are here in a land which is known for, a lot of money flowing, a lot of sense gratification flowing, but you are getting the opportunity to perform devotional service in this land, here in America. So wherever you are, like the demigods are lamenting that in heaven they are becoming forgetful. So this is most important. We should never become forgetful of the Lord. We should always remember. When Prabhupada came to the hippie land, the hippies told Prabhupada, Swamiji, we are very ashamed to bring you here. Here people drink and smoke and take drugs and do all sinful activities. You are such a pure person from Vrindavan. Sorry, they said. Prabhupada said, what are you saying? This is Vaikuntha, he said. Why? Because where the devotees are chanting the Lord's holy names, that place becomes sanctified. So Prabhupada said, all of you guys, you are ready to join my Hare Krishna Kirtan. So this is no more an impure place. You have purified this place, he said. So we purify any place by chanting of the holy name. So today and tomorrow, in these 3 sessions, it is one after another session. The first topic for today is how to be alert to Krishna and inert to Maya. This is what we are going to begin with today. Let us cover as much as I can today. Now the time is, okay, I have another 25 minutes or half an hour.
Till 9 p.m.
But you have some time.
50 minutes.
Yes, go.
50 minutes.
50
Till 9.
minutes.
50.
Yes, 15 minutes. So, like this I have put lesson 1, lesson 2, so that you all will know. Next one? Next slide? Yeah. Why I am giving you point wise, otherwise we hear the katha and clap hands and go away, we forget. We don't remember what we heard. I can go verse by verse from Bhagavatam and we will have a very nice Krishna Rasayanam katha, and then we may not remember. So I am putting it in a very precise fashion. So this is the first question we will learn. How to gain freedom from material desires arising in our mind. See, material desires are like mosquitoes. One day, night when I was going into the mosquito net, thinking that I will peacefully sleep tonight without any problem. Along with me, one mosquito also entered inside. And I closed it tightly and then I went to sleep whole night. The mosquito was singing songs in my ears. It keep on biting different parts of the body. Next day morning, I saw my face was swollen with so many mosquito bites. It created, the whole night was hellish. So, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, material desires are so nasty that one should not even have one of them also. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvan asheshataha, he says. Asheshataha means, like if I ask you, in your house how many snakes are allowed? What do you say? 1 or 2, how many snakes? It is 0. Like that, he says, material desires are like that. They are like mosquitoes or snakes. He says, nothing should be there. Anya abhilashita. That doesn't mean you should not have desires. You can have many desires. Like you see in this Tulasi Krishna Prayasi song, how intelligent the devotee is. You know what he is saying? Oh Tulasi, you are most merciful. Please give me, whoever comes to you, that desires will be fulfilled. Therefore I have come to you, he says. That's the very first thing. And then he says, and she is asking, what do you want? He says, just give me residence in one kunja in Vrindavan. She says, oh, there are so many kunjas where Krishna is performing pastimes with his covered boys, covered gopis and everybody. You want a residence in that place? He says, yeah, just one small kunja is all right for me. And then she says, okay, I'll give you. And then he says, only desire is that kunja should be in the neighborhood to the kunja where Radha and Krishna will be there. She says, really? You want in the neighborhood? Not only that, from there I should be able to see them also. He says. He says, Nayane Hariposada, correct no? He says, oh, you have to see them also. That may be a little challenging. And then he is begging, whoever comes to you, you will fulfill all the desires. Please kindly give me one punja. And then she says, okay, I'll give you. Then he says that, there are so many gopis roaming there. Make me assistant to one of the gopis. He's saying. And then she says, but all of them are very busily engaged in the service of divine couple. Okay, if nobody will agree, you only take me as your servant. And he says, what he says? He says, Karo Nija Dasi. Correct, no? Okay, if nobody is available there, everybody is busy, then you only accept me. I have already come to you. I am at your lotus feet now. You only accept me. He says. Then she is asking, hey, your demands are increasing now. Huh? First you said a residence from Vrindavan, then you wanted a Kunj, then you want a Kunj from where you can see Radha Krishna. Now you want one Sakhi to serve also, Radha and Krishna. And then she is saying, now you are asking me only to accept you as a servant maid. Then what are you out? What are you up to in Vrindavan? She is asking. Then he is saying, what can I do? I am Krishna Das. Jena Krishna Das Ekoy, Yena Mora Hoy. And then what he says? Sri Radha Govinda Preme. Sada. Not only I want all this, ultimately I am asking you, my ultimate desire is Sada, always I have to serve Sri Radha and Govinda. Because I am Krishna Das. This is my prerogative. So in this way, very intelligent devotee, little by little he is increasing his desires in making his demands more and more, but in a very polite way. So Vaishnavas are not just desiring to serve Radha Krishna, they are greedy to serve. It's called laulyam. One should be greedy to serve. So it's not wrong to have desire, but our desires we have to make sure they are spiritual desires. They are not material desires. We are allowed to have only spiritual desires. For example, if you have a big bulb, you have to remove even traces of oxygen from it, if I tell you. You can take it to a laboratory and pump out all the oxygen. Not very easy. Some traces will always remain. And if you try to create a vacuum with very great force, the bulb may explode also. Immediately it will explode. But there is one very easy way by which you can remove all traces of oxygen. Anybody knows what you can do? If you do that, it's a very easy process. All the traces of oxygen will be thrown out immediately. You have to fill up the bulb with inert gases like argon, krypton, xenon. If you put such kinds of things inside, oxygen will easily come out very easily. And it's a very smooth process. Similarly, in our heart, we put Krishna desires inside and material desires will be kicked out. That's the easiest way. If you put spiritual desires, then material desires will be out. Otherwise, removing material desires is very difficult. So many yogis and jnanis have tried and they have failed miserably. Poor fellow, our Saubari Muni, he went underwater. Why? So that he can meditate peacefully. If we go underwater in 3 minutes, we'll come out. Is it not true? But even though he was underwater, there he got into trouble. He saw 2 fishes mating and then he came out and married 50 daughters of Mandata king. So material desires are not very easy to overcome, but they are very easily overcome by a devotee who transforms them into spiritual desires. So let us see what happened with Bharat Maharaj. See, Bharat Maharaj, there is one very famous verse which says, Yodustyajan Kshitisuta Swajanartadara Pratyam Shriyam Saravare Sadayavalokam Naichandripastat. It says, this verse says, even the demigod used to envy the wealth of Bharat Maharaj, who was king of the whole world. But such a Bharat Maharaj, what he did? Yodustyajan Dharasutan Surudrajam Hridisprashaka Jahu Yueva Malavat Uttamashlokalalasaha. It says, this verse says, he gave up all the opulences and wealth of this world exactly like, you know what? The example given is Malavat, he says. Mala you all know. Mala means stool. Malavat means like one after passing stool in the commode, one will not even see it. One will immediately come out. You will not spend much time there. Is it not? Like that he gave up, it says. See, why sometimes the wealth is compared to stool in Bhagavatam? Because generally stool is something you leave and come. Similarly, your grandfather left the money and went away. Then your father also left and went away. Now you will also leave it and go. Therefore it is compared to stool. In Tamil it's called selvam. Selvam means selvom. You will keep going. It will never stay with you. That's the meaning of that. Similarly, Malabhat it is said. So much detachment he showed. Our Prabhupada says virakti means not just giving up things. Giving up things is called a tyaga. Virakti means losing taste for sense enjoyment. That is virakti. It's not the same. Tyaga means you may just give up the thing, but in the mind you may be thinking, oh, I gave up that. Like my mother was once telling, if you go to Varanasi, you have to give up the sabji which you like the most. I got shocked. My God, potato sabji is my favorite. And she's saying you have to give up the favorite sabji. So I never went to Varanasi after that. So generally we all are attached to certain things. We don't want to give them up. But he says, Suhrid Rajyam Hridis Prishaha. Hridis Prishaha means that which is very close to our hearts. He gave up. Who is that? Dustyajan. Very difficult to give up. What are they? Dara means wife. Sutan, children. No. I have not yet come to that one. Previous one only, yeah. Suhrid means all his well-wishing ministers and everybody. Rajyam means kingdom. Hridis Prashara, all these things touch the heart. But he gave up all of it and went to forest. And what he did in the forest in Pulahashrama, he worshipped Lord Narayana, as you see here. He did the Rigveda mantra, he chanted. And Prabhupada writes in the purport there, I have not shown here. If I show all of it, it will take a long time. Therefore, I am just telling you. The sun, the Surya gets the tejas from Narayana. Prabhupada says that. It's Narayana who supplies that unlimited Ashesha Teja, we say, no, to the Surya. So he is remembering Lord Narayana and meditating on the form of Lord Narayana by uttering a Rigveda mantra prayer along with Gayatri. So, Prabhupada writes in the purport, peace of mind and satisfaction are obtainable when we are freed from material desires and engaged in devotional service. So, as long as material desires are haunting our mind, we will always be disturbed in this world. We cannot be satisfied. Now, when you ask somebody, who is a happy man? There is a mathematical formula I'll tell you. Check yourself. If your desires are greater than your assets, you are a poor man, unhappy man. If your desires are smaller than your assets, you are a happy man. Now we can ask whether it be Bill Gates, whether it be, who is the other fellow?
Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. So they all of them, are they rich or poor? The answer is it depends. Why it depends? In case the desires are smaller than their assets, they are
Rich.
They are rich. If their desires are greater than their assets, they are poor. So therefore, the material desires can be removed by substituting them with spiritual desires. So Bharat Maharaj went to the forest. He was a king before. Now you can imagine, when he was a king, he would clap hands. Immediately 10 people would come. He clapped hands there, another 10 would come. He was so much given respect and honor and adoration and all. And everyone and everything was at his beck and call. But now he is in the forest here. Therefore the kings used to go to the forest in those days, live in seclusion, worship the Supreme Lord, perform austerities, eat some kandamul and roots and berries, eat very simple food, devote time to study the Vedic literature. And they would absorb their consciousness like this. Because you all will see in this world, our body, from childhood to boyhood to youth, the body is in a growing mode. You will see that small children, right now what is your age? You have both of your children? Yeah? 10 is it? Okay. So they are 10 now. Now when they grow up, when they come to 12, 14, 15, they may exceed the height of their father also. You've seen that sometimes children, they exceed the shoulder of the parents also when they get taller. Many times you see. But you will see after 30, 40, you will see the body doesn't keep growing. The body starts shrinking. You will see. It will become shorter and shorter as you get old. Similarly, your prasadam plate also size keeps increasing from 10 20, 30, and then what do you think in 40 you eat 4 plates or what? In 50 you eat 5 plates? No, the food size will reduce, you will see that. It goes like this, then it goes down. You will see that. Therefore, I will tell all of you 4 things you please remember. First 25 years, then 25 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 100. What we should be doing? First 25, all of you please repeat. Learn and grow.
Learn and grow.
And 25 to 50, engage and earn.
Engage and earn.
And 50 to 75, detach and attach. And 75 to 100, pray and prepare. So I asked some students, what is this learn and grow? They said, learn means go to school. Grow means just grow in bodily size so that when shirt becomes very tight, you get a new one. Learn and grow. That's not learn and grow. Learn and grow is, you learn Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Kaumaram Achret Prajna, Dharman Bhagavatani. Learn Bhagavata Dharma. And grow in what? Grow in your wisdom. Because young age is the age for growing in your wisdom. Increase the spiritual wisdom. And then when you become 25, then somebody gets married by 25, 26, whatever. Then what do you do? Engage and earn. I asked, what is this engage and earn? So he was saying, engage means get engagement in marriage engagement. And earn means take a job and earn money and maintain the family. That is superficial understanding. Engage means husband and wife should jointly engage in devotional service. And earn what? Bhakti Sukruti. That we should earn. Because Punya also will get over. Papa will get over. And currency note suddenly will get over. So there is no doubt about dollar notes. They will get over only. Only thing that will go with you is Bhakti Sukruti. That's the only thing which will go with us. So that's what we should earn. 25 to 50. And 50 to 75, I asked, what is this detach and attach? Like one gentleman met me, he was 68 years old. He said, Swamiji, I have 4 sons. And these 4 sons have taken all my 4 businesses I was running. Now they all have grown up now, they have taken, now I don't know what to do. Then he asked me, so I am thinking of starting a new business now. So I want your blessings, he said. So I told him, you are already 68 now. What you should do, detach and attach, I told him. He said, I have already detached from old business, so I am attaching him to new business. I said, no. I said, detach from material life and attach to spiritual life. Correct, no? If parents, eventually as they get older from 50, 60, 70, they are chanting the rounds, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, going to the holy places, and giving some nice teachings to the children. Children will be very happy. But if parents are 60, 70, 80, they are going to the children and controlling them, micromanaging them, hey, don't do business like this, do this, do that. And children will become very unhappy. They will say, hey, this old person is not becoming detached. They're then happy. So we should become detached and attached. Attached to Krishna's lotus feet, okay? And then 75 to 100, what we should do? Pray and prepare. So what is this pray and prepare? Some people are praying, oh son, you keep me in your place. Oh son, you keep me in your place. So I will go here, I want this, I want that. Pray for things from the children. Buy this for me, buy that for me. Actually, one should be praying to the Supreme Lord. One should learn how to pray from the heart and prepare for the death. How do you prepare for the death? Actually, when death is approaching us, we should be remembering the Lord very well. So, Antakale samameva smaranutva. So, we should be able to remember the Lord. Like when you are walking in the road, if a thorn pricks our feet, earlier we used to call Amma, like that we used to call Amma, Appa, something like that we would call, isn't it? Like that we would call. But if you have become a devotee, instead of you can say Rama, you can say, isn't it? You call our Krishna, you can call the Lord's name. So how do you know you are well prepared? Anytime death comes and strikes us, we should be able to remember the Lord at that time. That means, day long we should keep it. Like my father and mother, I had been calling them to Pune. They were having many responsibilities. 3 sisters were settled in life. Somehow at one point of time, my father said, you please take me to Pune now. Now I am feeling a very great urge in my heart. And arrange a house for me just next to the temple from where I can see the Gopuram. So he had a great conviction, Gopura Darshanam, Papa Vimochanam. So he said, I will lie down in my bed and I will watch the Gopuram all day. And he would put this Vishnu Sahasranam, he would be hearing regularly. So they lived in Pune only 6 months only. After that he passed away. He was 84 years old. So mother passed away first, and 3 months later father also passed away. But that last 6 months I can say they were so fortunate. His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu came to our home and he did 1 hour kirtan. Many Maharajas came, so as Bhaktisama Maharaj came. Even as well as Radhanath Maharaj came also. Many other Maharajas, Loknath Maharaj came. So they were very, very blessed and fortunate. The last few months were completely surcharged very spiritually. They were hearing many Bhagavad Kathas, people were coming and doing kirtan at home and lecture at home. So they were in a very good, my mother used to come, the whole morning she would spend in the temple till 10 o'clock. And evening 5 o'clock she will come, go back at 9. She will be sitting in the temple and chant. So I was thinking, in their ripe old age, they completely absorbed themselves. Many of the Maharajas told that these parents will actually go to a very great destination, they will get a very good birth. Even if they have to be reborn, they will be born in a devotee family. So when we are old, this should be our contemplation, ideally. So Bharat Maharaj left the kingdom. Otherwise, you control the soldiers, you control the praja, you control the treasury. All of them control, and ultimately we become controlled by our own mind only. So we have to actually give up the controlling mentality and go to the forest and learn to depend on the Lord. So he went to the forest and engaged in devotional service. Next slide. Practice. Next one. Only the top we can show. Yes. Only that much. Yeah. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna teaches about mind control. How do we control the mind? 2 things Krishna says. Abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena cha grihate. So here I am explaining about abhyas. There is a saying in English, back and one said that practice maketh a man perfect. So if you want to make our sadhana perfect, we have to practice very well. There was one boy who was rejected from the Gurukula. He was going home. On the way he saw, in those days they used to have a well with stones around and they would draw the water. So with a rope. So when they were drawing water, he saw that the rope has made impression on the stone. Now which is stronger? Rope is stronger or the stone is stronger? But still the repeated usage of the rope over the stone had made impression on the stone. So he got thrilled by seeing that. He understood that my teacher thinks I am off, I am good for nothing, but I will repeatedly practice memorizing the shlokas. And then he went on to become Kalidas. He is the one who was Kalidas. By repeated practice he became a great poet later on. So in the same manner, if an ant keeps going over a stone, it makes a line. You will see that. So therefore we have emphasized here on this abhyas practice. Initially chanting may be very difficult. On Ekadashi days you chant some extra rounds. You chant 25 rounds or 32 rounds. In case you have all day free, you can chant 64 rounds also. My personal experience, first 20-25 rounds are difficult. But after that you will find rounds will be very easy. You can try that. Chanting Hare Krishna will become very easy after that. Because initially it's like climbing a mountain. Very difficult. But gradually Krishna will give more and more support to us in attentively hearing the holy name. Then it will become so. By practice we will be able to make it perfect. Like you see, any game people play, they practice. When Olympics, if somebody has to go for Olympics, 6 years, 8 years, they do net practice, they call it. If somebody has to get into IIT, they study from 7th or 8th standard nowadays. They study for 5-6 years, they study. And also there are many people who have become expert by repeated practice, although originally they were not expert. Similarly, the spiritual life also, many times people wonder that, spiritual life sometimes is difficult, so people give up and go away foolishly. But actually, spiritual life initially may be a little difficult. But if you persist, then eventually spiritual life will become easier. The practices which are difficult at one time will become easier. One example I'll tell you. In many temples, what happens, after the Mangalarati, Narshingarati, Tulasarati is over, you find when chanting starts, everybody goes out. Sometimes brahmacharis go to their ashram and grihasthas go back to their home. Arati they attend, but actually the real most important thing is chanting only. Because chanting, you just purpose is sit in one place and chant 16 rounds at a stretch without giving up. Some people after 8 rounds they have to go for doing yogasanas or something. People go away. But if you do at a stretch, Prabhupada says you will get mantra siddhi, he says. Mantra siddhi means whatever you desire you will get. Whatever you speak will become truth, he says. And such a person will become very spiritually potent. Prabhupada says in one of his writings, he says that those who chant the mantra, they are blessed by the Lord if one is continuously chanting all the rounds, which many people are unable to do nowadays for various reasons, maybe genuine also. Some people have to go to office, somebody has to go to cook or whatever. But you should try to especially become expert in chanting the holy name. See, chanting holy name is like the calling of a child for the mother. You've seen child, kua, 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 kua. Like that he makes sound, isn't it? Immediately the mother gives the breast milk to the child. And by drinking the breast milk of the mother, the child gets nourishment. Similarly, we chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Immediately the divine couple, Radha and Krishna, appear. And Radharani surcharges the jiva, electrifies the body of the living entity who is chanting, spiritualizes the body, just like iron rod put in fire. Degree to which we sincerely call out the holy name, to that degree our body becomes electrified by spiritual potency. And then your life won't be the same. You will be a much different person. And Dhruva Maharaj had that experience. He spoke it out also. Yonta pravishya mamavata mimam prasuttam sanjeevayatta shakti dharasvadhamna anyasta hasta charana shravanat pagadin pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. He's saying, oh Lord Purushottama, Vishnu, I don't even understand what is happening to me. I chanted the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya mantra. Now you touched my head with your shank and my whole body has become spiritually electrified. My hands, my legs, my whole body is now trembling with love, ecstatic love for you. Especially my tongue is empowered to recite shlokas like this in glorification of you. Although I never gone to Gurukula, I never studied Sanskrit. So Dhruva Maharaj was himself surprised. How am I speaking all this glorification of the Lord? So you will become conducted by the Lord when we surrender to Him. In Bible, they say 3 things: God, that is Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. 3 things they say. So what they say, those people who are very sincerely worshipping the Supreme Father, God's devotee, those become, for them the Holy Spirit occupies them. And the Holy Spirit will make them do which they humanly cannot do. Like one time a group of Christians went to one country where they didn't know the local language. But because they were very sincere devotees of God, the Holy Spirit dominated them, occupied them, and they started speaking the language and preaching in that language. So in the same manner, Prabhupada said, I am coming to West, but I don't know, whether the people of the West will take my message seriously. And if you wish, my Lord, then it can happen, he said. You make me dance the way you want to make me dance. So I am only like a puppet, he said. So in the same manner, we all have opportunity to become puppets also by regular practice, serious practice. Another one is Vairagya. In back to Godhead, there was an article called A Warm Bed. One more, Prabhu, next one. Yeah, correct, that's the one. Yeah. So, in back to Godhead, there was an article, A Warm Bed is a cold grave, it said. What is the meaning of this? In the early morning, when you cover yourself with a blanket, you take off the blanket and see everybody else is sleeping, then again you go back to sleep also. Others are motivating you to sleep, isn't it? And others also take off and they see you are sleeping, so they also go to sleep. People inspire one another for sleeping, isn't it? So, therefore you have an opportunity in the early morning to perform the penance or tapasya of getting up. You have to develop some detachment from sleep in the morning. So, actually I have one article in Hindi which I will share with Prabhu, Brajakapa Prabhu, about Brahma Muhurt mein utne ka labh. It's in Hindi. So I will give it to you. Those who know Hindi, they can read it. It gives many scientific reasons why we should get up in the morning. It says that, some of us might have been born in 7 months only. Some children are prematurely born. You know that? They are very, very fearful children. They are very insecure because they are born prematurely. Instead of 9 months, they are born in 7 months only. And some children have some genetic disorders in the mother's womb. Later on, when they are born, some children are born with certain disorders like that. But doctors have found out that if somebody is rising early in the morning and doing meditation, some genetic disorders can be removed, completely nullified. There are proofs for that. They say the situation of a person in the early morning hours in meditation is exactly similar to a child in the womb of a mother. You can compare both. Like Prahlad Maharaj got knowledge when he was in the womb of his mother. Even Abhimanyu got the knowledge about Chakravyuha when he was in the womb of his mother. Is it not true? And they were all supplied knowledge and they could get it. Similarly, by uttering the holy name and hearing it yourself in the early morning hours, you are very pliable. Your mind is like a wax. At that time, whatever disorders are in the mind can be very easily set right. Like I was in Maharashtra, in a place called Alibag. We had gone in the summertime, Brahmachari camp we had. So from one building we were watching the ocean. In the early morning hours, the ocean was throwing out dirty slag. All the muddy kind of dirt was there in the ocean. It was throwing out in the early morning hours. And it was very low tide also. Afternoon time we saw it was a high tide. And the high tide was rising up and down with all the dirty things. No dirt was coming out. Because the early morning is in which guna?
Goodness.
Sattva-guna. And afternoon is in? Passion, Rajoguna. So afternoon in passion you cannot release the impurities. Whereas when you are in Sattva-guna, very easily you can separate the impurity from the pure. So those who rise early in the morning and chant, little by little our impurities are removed from our mind gradually. Yan nama shruti matrena puman bhavati nirmala, he says. By nama shruti, the hridaya becomes nirmal, he says. So we become purified by hearing the holy name. So the cleansing is like taking a wet cloth and wiping a mirror. All the dust is removed, you can see yourself very clearly. But for that, the morning time is the easiest. You all have experience. In the daytime chanting, people will walk and chant. They won't sit. Why? Because daytime they are in passion. At night they will chant like in Vishnu's pose and like Ranganath and Ananta Shiva. Because that is Tamaguna. So in this way, that is it. So therefore, according to Guna, our body also responds. Isn't it? But in morning you can sit in a Padmasana posture in one place and just chant continuously Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, although it may be difficult, if you do this difficult activity, your determination will increase. Chanting increases the willpower. Chanting increases the determination. But we have to do it. Like once a group of 4-5 boys were climbing up the Tirupati hill. One boy was a little fat boy. And all the boys told him, hey, you won't be able to climb. They were teasing him. So this boy said, no, today you wait and watch, I'm going to climb. So they were all going together. Then after they climbed 1/3 of the distance, a car came. And the car had only one passenger sitting in the front. And then he asked these boys, any of you wish to come backside? We have 2 seats, we can sit. So immediately this fat fellow got into the car. And all of them said, hey, we told you, you will get in. So this boy said, see, I didn't ask for the car, Balaji is sending me a car. So Balaji is telling, don't take so much trouble, come in a car. So many times we all start something, it's called Arambha Shuratana, we call it. Something you start with a very great enthusiasm. But down the line what happens, our enthusiasm fades away. So therefore, if you take a sankalpa to do something and you persist and go on, then you will be able to get determination. So chanting increases determination. Study of scriptures gives you discrimination and chanting gives you determination. So scriptural study gives us clear-cut knowledge, what is good, what is bad, what I should do, what I should not do, what is beneficial, what is harmful. Clearly you can know. And doing chanting gives determination, dog-like determination. Haridas Thakur used to chant 3 lakh names every day, which means 192 rounds, because of which even Maya Devi herself could not tempt him. He became very strong. You see, what happens by chanting, it's very important to know. Right now, our mind is like milk. Like milk, the problem with milk is what? If you put milk in water, what happens? Say you take 1 glass of milk and a big vessel of water, which is 4 times water. When you put 1 glass of milk in the water, what happens? It becomes very thin milk. Correct, no? The more you add water to the milk, it becomes thinner and thinner and thinner. Later on, the taste is like water only. Correct, no? On the other hand, if you don't add water, you boil this milk and then you make the heat. You make curd out of it. Then you churn the curd and make butter out of it. Now you put butter in the water. What will happen? Does it mix? It doesn't mix. It absolutely will not mix. Butter will remain butter, water will remain water. Similarly, a devotee who in the early stage is like a neophyte devotee means his mind is like milk now. But by strongly chanting, our inner determination will increase, it will become like butter. So when your inner mechanisms make your heart like butter, at that time you will not mix with Maya. Maya can be all around you, but Maya cannot touch you. Just like Bhishma is sitting in the court of Kauravas, where 4 dushtas were there. Dushta Chatushtayam it is said. Like Duryodhana, Dushasana, Shakuni, Karna, they were all there. But Bhishma was completely unaffected. How do you know that? When he went to the battlefield, he is actually exchanging love with Krishna in a battlefield. Whereas in a Viryaras. Is it not true? How amazing it is. In battlefield, people's heads are flying. But here is a person who is exchanging love even in a battlefield. That means he must be sitting in the court of Kauravas and meditating on Krishna always 24/7. Otherwise, how he got that absorption? It's called spiritual mental absorption. Another example is our Akrura. He was actually minister of Kamsa. But you see Akrura entering Vrindavan, you read in the 10th canto. How pure Akrura's heart was. He was speaking to Krishna while riding the chariot. Oh Lord, I am coming to Vrindavan. I'll get you a darshan. Shri Radha Nilamada ki. So Akrura spoke to the Lord. Oh my Lord, you are so kind. And he said, I am a very sinful person, I am an assistant to Kamsa, so maybe you will not accept me. And then he said, no, you are super soul in the heart of everybody. You know who is who, I am your devotee. When I come to Vrindavan, you will embrace me and all my sinful reactions will be washed away and you will accept me, and both Krishna Balram will call me, oh Uncle Akrura, uncle, they will call me, and my heart will become completely joyful. So in this way he was completely like a madman, like pagal you say, no? When there is affection, like a boy may talk about a girl or a girl may talk about a boy, or parents may talk about their child. Like that Akrura had affection for Krishna. That means his association with Kamsa has not affected him. He has remained pure. Therefore, how that happens by sadhana? When we make the milk like heart into a butter like heart, then we will not mix with the maya of the outside world. Therefore, many kings like Bharata used to go to the forest and perform intense sadhana to strengthen and solidify our mind and heart in devotion to the Lord. A heart which has become like a rock candy cannot get melted by anything. So, therefore, the detachment. And if we don't practice detachment, vairagya, it is going to increase our mental hunger. You know what is mental hunger? Say one day you finished your lunch prasad, and then like that you had a burp also. That means you are not hungry anymore, and somebody brings you crackjack biscuit. You all know what is crackjack? It is a square biscuit with holes in it, and it is saltish. Somebody gives you, for some people crackjack is very, very, very attractive. Or somebody brings a Giriraj Son Babdi from Vrindavan. They say, Prabhu, I brought some little prasad for you. Then you pick it up and say, okay, you are a devotee friend you are giving, how can I say no? What can we eat? Are you really hungry? That is called mental hunger. Mind likes it, but stomach has no place for it. Stomach will be shouting, hey, don't put it. Mind will say, but I like it very much. It's called mental hunger. So, when we are not detached or when we are attached, the mind will create a lot of havoc. You will see, find for example, many grihasthas wonder how much money is good enough. So one time we had a meeting in Pune. One Mataji said, if you have a own house and have 25 lakhs, that's all, we can live a peaceful life. Another Mataji said, what are you talking? 25 lakhs is peanuts nowadays, nothing. At least you have 1 crore at least. She was telling. Another Mataji said, that's all? I think 5 crore is good. Say, you should have a house worth 2 crores and then 5 crores. So there is no end to this. So everybody has their own idea of what is security in this world. But you will see when we become properly situated Krishna's devotee and we develop detachment, we will be very happy with even little. Like a fish, you put a fish in a bucket of water or you put a fish in the ocean, the fish will not complain as long as you allow him contact with water, little or lot. Similarly, a devotee will never bother in what situation Krishna has put me. He'll be very satisfied and happy, provided we develop these 2 qualities, Abhyasa and Vairagya. Let's go to the next slide. See, I have written the heading here, regulation and discipline will give us focus and sense control and spiritual bliss. Actually, regulated means what? Eat at a certain time, sleep at a certain time, rise early in the morning, sleep early and rise early in the morning, and have chanting time, have a time for reading purpose books, do in a very regulated way. That regulation and discipline. Not only we should make a plan of regulation, we should stick to it. That is discipline. Then we get focus in spiritual life. Otherwise, sometimes we may get bewildered, confused, spaced out, as we say. So we may not feel spiritual bliss. Rather, we may be frustrated in spiritual life. That is because we are not regulated. Sometimes people keep, several rounds for the night, which is not very good. And then they say, because night I got very late, next day they get up late. It becomes a vicious cycle. That cycle can be broken on a weekend. Weekend you can break that cycle again, restart newly. So, in this way, Prabhupada says that, one place he says, without following the spiritual principles, a devotee's enthusiasm dwindles and degradation follows. That means if we don't regularly chant nicely and read nicely and follow a regulated spiritual lifestyle, Utsaha, Nishya, Dhairyat and all that, then he says that eventually we will feel weakness. But the positive side I will tell you, if you are enthusiastic, what do you get? Materialized spiritual life you all know very well. Like imagine you go to a shop to purchase something. That fellow is lying on the table and he has put a board. If you want any saman in my shop, please wake me up. Will you go to that shop? Or you go to another shop, the fellow is just waiting for you. As soon as he goes, he greets you, please come. Sir, tell me which one you want. He personally moves around with you and shows you different things. Will you go to that shop? Which one will you go? Second one or first one?
Second one.
Yeah. So even for you to be a material success, whether you are a student, whether you are a professionally working man, or you are a lady, a homemaker, we all need enthusiasm. Like if a lady says that, do you want me to cook fresh food? Or I can take out something from the fridge and put it in a microwave and give you. Husband says, okay, I think you are a little tired today, I can manage it. And then in the night he comes, she says, whatever I gave in the morning, is that all right for you? Is that good enough? He says, okay, if that's all you can do, it's all right. Then she says, can we keep it for 1 week? Sunday we will cook. Isn't it? So in this way you may find in such a lazy home, they will be eating old stuff, just by heating it and eating. In this way, you can see nobody can, actually, therefore enthusiasm is required everywhere. Whether you are a housewife, whether you are a young student. Students also, those who put their heart in studying, like when I was in my college days, we were 3 of us who would always back the first rank, any one of the 3 of us. So I used to go to the terrace and study, and my other 2 fellows would be in their terraces. So if they will watch me, hey, it's 12 o'clock, Radhesham is still not going down. 1 o'clock. So we'll be seeing each other and studying very nicely. One day I saw this fellow got down at 10 o'clock only. Then I also felt tired because he has gone down. So I went and slept. Till 11 o'clock, another friend woke me up and said, hey, that fellow has again gone up. He went down only to put you to sleep. So you will see that enthusiasm is also contagious. Do you agree?
Yes.
If somebody is enthusiastic, anybody who associates with them, they also become enthusiastic. So therefore, Prabhupada said, if you are not feeling enthusiastic, try to do some devotion service and act. Don't be lazy, lethargic. Bhagavatam says the person who is lazily lying down The solution for it is get up, it says. Wake up. If you wake up, your laziness will go away. Like one boy was telling, Prabhu, my only problem is this fan, Every day afternoon, 2 hours, it puts me to sleep. Then I asked, who switched on the fan? I said, I only switched on it. That is the problem. Then I said, you cut the wire so that even if you switch on, it will not get on. So we have to create a facility for us to get up. Enthusiasm. The next one I have put is austerity. Yeah, many people fear austerity, but in the Bhagavatam it is said, there are material austerities, there are spiritual austerities. See, in Chennai, one fellow was walking backward. So we are wondering why this fellow is walking backward. Everybody generally walks forward. I heard that his name is in Guinness Book of World Record. Last 10 years he is walking only backward. For that his name is there in Guinness Book. So what all austerities people do? Once in the train we saw, one fellow had nails, long nails, like curved nails. And he said, hey, don't come here. Because his name is in Guinness Book for having the longest nails. These kind of austerities people do, material austerities. And that way you will see, singers don't eat ice cream so that their throat can be, very smooth. Many people follow many austerities. People struggle hard in this world. You will see materially. Bombay, Prabhupada says people are hanging out of the train. Even today we see that. Even in 70s, Prabhupada has seen that. People hanging out of train. There are Pune people working in Bombay because they get 500 rupees more monthly. For that, people are traveling 4 hours from Pune. I asked one man, for 500 rupees you are going from Pune to Bombay? He said, I don't have to worry, company gives me season tickets. People are struggling hard. So, Nayam Deho, Dehabhajan Viloke, Kashtan, Kaman, Argati, Vidubujambi, like that Rishabhadev says. People work very hard. Severe austerities they do. But Rishabhadev says, you should do austerity for what? Tapo Divyam, Putraka Yena Sattvam, Shuddhye Yasman Brahma Saukyam tu Anantam. He says that do austerity for Krishna, that's called Tapo Divyam. You do tapasya for Krishna. Like Govardhan Puja, Mataji sometimes make 1,000 plus offerings. Many of them go to the kitchen, they cook a dozen items or 20 items, 30 items. So they do austerity, even in a hot kitchen, they may do that. Like that. Similarly, many of you, I heard that here you put Ananda Mela and such big festivals and all here. Sometimes day-long service you may do. So sweating and fuming. So for Krishna's sake, he says you can take austerity. If you do, there is advantage. What is it? Sattvam Shuddhye, it means your heart will be purified, he says. And you will get Brahma Saukyam. You will feel bliss. Heart will be purified and you will feel spiritual bliss, he says. So why should we do austerity? Because you have a human body and without austerity we cannot get purified. And our austerities are all very simple. What Prabhupada has given. You don't have to do like Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj, first month he took some tasteless fruits. Second month he took only once in 3 days some shak leaves. Third month he took only once in 6 days. Only he took some water or something like that. And then fourth month only once in 9 days was taking air. And then this way for 6 months he stopped taking in air also. Now if you tell such austerities, people will run away, isn't it? Our austerities are very simple. Prabhupada said, you chant Hare Krishna, you will feel ecstasy. You get up and dance. And when you are tired, take some prasad. And if you are more tired, then you relax. Then you get up. So our moment is a chanting, dancing and feasting moment. And Prabhupada says, we are living such a sweet moment. Even this people don't want to take up in Kali Yuga. They are lazy even for this, he says. So, therefore, our austerities are very simple. Initially, it may be difficult for us because Guru is saying we may follow. But eventually, the Rati will awaken. Rati means a very strong taste will awaken. Actually, if you pay the price of austerity, then you will get the taste. So, I will conclude here with this, with one statement. See what Prabhupada says here. Activities of Bharata should be carefully studied for one's spiritual advancement. Prabhupada says. The important one more? Yeah. Activities of Bharata should be carefully studied. So only one thing we have learned now, that Bharat Maharaj went to forest, he performed austerities, penances, and he also cultivated practice of devotional service along with detachment. So I took those headings and I elaborated in a simpler manner for us to apply. So I have finished probably half of the seminar, what I am supposed to do now. So tomorrow when we start, we will go to lesson 2, how to avoid distractions and gain focus in Krishna consciousness. Next one, next slide. Yeah, this I will do in the next class, and we will proceed with this. In the 3 classes, we will learn about 8 lessons or so. The further lessons will go pretty fast because the first lesson also had some introduction and everything. I think Krishna willing, I will complete all the 8 lessons in the next 2 sessions. Okay. Shri Prabhupada ki. Thank you very much. Yeah. I finished on time.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Radheshyam Prabhu. Tomorrow morning we'll reconvene at 10:30 a.m. How to be awake and not fall asleep after sleep. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So we have some books by Prabhuji at the back. Vinit Prabhu, what all we have? Okay.
Hare Krishna. Actually, I heard one Manoram Chaitanya Prabhu here in the West. He had taken a big bulk of this books. He has brought it here. I think Discover Yourself has got over. I think that was the first book. This is the second book called Your Best Friend. This is about Krishna, very scientifically explained. Gradually, this book develops about understanding of the Supreme Lord. And this book is a very scientific book. It talks about Dawkins talks about a spontaneous generation of life from matter, which is spoke. This defeats that. Similarly, our love is not a biochemical function, but it is actually a energy of the soul. So there are 3-4 first chapters are very scientific, and subsequently explaining reincarnation is the main subject. And this is also same book, but actually the last book is called Victory Over Death. I think they may have probably. I think that book is a very. You can see the contents page. You will get to know what all are covered in there. But generally, these books are very helpful in talking to educated children or educated boys or girls who have many questions about God and religion, and many of them actually are skeptical or agnostics. So these books are written for that purpose. It's a blend of science and spirituality. That's why we call it as a science and spirituality series. And we have some pocket books also. They are very quick to read, like Can I Live Forever and Art of Harnessing Mind Power, Practical Tips to Mind Control. So those who don't get much time, especially in your offices, you want to give it to somebody. It's a quick to read books, small books. Good morning, Bhagavatam class time.